So, you know how we like to really get to the heart of things here on the deep dive? And you all sent in Psalm 10 from the New Living Translation and really want to understand, like, what are the core emotions, the core themes?
Right.
And just so everyone knows, this is a pretty powerful text. It's ancient, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's this raw cry for help and this demand for justice.
Mhm.
But what we're going to try to do in this deep dive is not really explore, like, the religious significance of it,
Okay.
but really just unpack those fundamental, like, human emotions that are in there and see what insights maybe resonate even today, you know, thousands of years later.
Absolutely. And, right from the start, you just get thrown into this feeling of abandonment.
Oh, yeah.
The opening questions, why does God seem so distant when trouble hits?
Yeah.
It just immediately sets up this feeling of being alone
Right.
in the face of injustice. And that's something that I think is a very human experience.
Yeah. It is. And it's so interesting because, like, right away, it's like, why are you so far away? Why do you hide when I'm in trouble?
Yeah.
But then immediately pivots to describing what the wicked are doing and this image of them, like, arrogantly hunting down the poor.
Uh-huh.
And there's even this line in there that's almost hopeful, right?
Yeah.
Let them be caught in the evil they plan for others.
Right.
And it makes you wonder if we all have this innate desire for some kind of, like, cosmic comeuppance. Like, what goes around comes around.
It does. And what's fascinating, I think, is how the psalm then goes on to characterize these wicked.
Yeah.
It's not just their actions, but like their whole attitude.
Right. Yeah.
They brag about their evil desires. They praise the greed. It's this complete inversion of values.
Right.
What stands out to you about that?
I think the arrogance is so striking because the text says the wicked are too proud to seek God. They seem to think that God is dead, and, like, they're so confident in their wrongdoing.
Yeah.
You know, believing that nothing bad will ever happen to us, that we'll be free of trouble forever.
Yeah.
It's almost chilling.
It is.
This portrait of feeling untouchable.
Yeah, and from that sense of impunity, it seems like, flows all of these actions,
Yeah.
which are described in really, like, visceral language.
Oh, yeah.
You see them lurking in ambush, like predators waiting to murder innocent people.
Right.
It's this image of lions and hunters trapping the helpless, but it really brings their cruelty to life. Yeah. How does that imagery resonate with you in terms of, like, how the vulnerable are exploited?
I mean, it just paints such a stark picture of power imbalance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The psalm says that their helpless victims are crushed. They fall beneath the strength of the wicked.
Yeah.
There's this sense of utter vulnerability, and then it's almost like we get to the root of their behavior when it says, the wicked think God isn't watching us. He has closed his eyes and won't even see what we do. This belief in being unseen, unaccountable.
Right. And so, understandably, I think that leads to this very direct cry for intervention.
Oh, yeah.
Arise, O Lord. Punish the wicked, O God. Do not ignore the helpless. It's this raw plea for justice.
Yes.
That's driven by, I think, the understanding that the wicked act this way precisely because they believe they can get away with it.
Right.
What is that kind of desperation for an external intervention? Tell us about the human response to unchecked injustice.
It just highlights our desire for fairness.
Yeah.
Even when we feel powerless, right?
And it's interesting, too, because, like, their request gets even more forceful.
Yeah,
right?
This does.
Break the arms of these wicked, evil people.
Right.
It's almost like this intense desire to just stop their ability to cause harm.
It is, but what's interesting, I think, is the psalm doesn't stay in that place of despair.
Oh, that's true.
There's a shift toward this assertion of ultimate power.
Uh-huh.
Like, the Lord is king forever and ever. The godless nations will vanish from the land.
It's like this declaration of a cosmic order where justice will ultimately prevail, offering this glimmer of hope.
And that hope is specifically for the people who are suffering.
Yes.
Because the psalm says that God knows the hopes of the helpless and will hear their cries and comfort them.
Right.
And it ends with this vision of a future where the vulnerable are finally safe, no longer terrified.
Absolutely. And so when you look at Psalm 10 as a whole, you see this powerful oscillation between the very real experience of injustice and this deep-seated hope for resolution, like a restoration of balance. It speaks to, I think, a fundamental tension within the human experience.
It really does, and it leaves you thinking like, okay, given this enduring human struggle with injustice, what are all the different ways that people,
Right.
both individually and collectively,
Yeah.
have sought and continue to seek recourse and hope when they're facing, similar kinds of oppression throughout history?
Throughout history,
It's something to really consider.
it is.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
See you, Amit.